Scotland in control of the ball. Oh, that's two they've erased now. So big hello to our those of us watching on the stream right now. Australia just about to close off. They feel the first set, and that's it. Australia with the poke down the line win the first set 21-15 against Scotland. This is the women's quarter-final here at Blackrock in Tobago. Just to remind you what's gone on here today, for those of us just joining us on the stream, of course, the entire match will be posted later on YouTube. Here's what's happened here earlier today at Blackrock in Tobago. Bermuda against Canada in the first quarterfinal in the women's side. Canada sweeping past Bermuda 21-7, 21-7. And then in the second game, big upset there with Kenya beating England in straight sets. Kenya getting past England 21-16, 21-16. Now, in the third of the quarterfinals to be played, Australia have just taken the first set, as we mentioned, 21-15 against Scotland. And in the other game on, which is taking place right now, that is New Zealand are on set point against Mozambique. And in fact, they have just taken the first set 21-10. So Mozambique yet to drop, well, before that, they were yet to drop a set in this tournament. And they've now dropped their first against New Zealand. They've gone down 21-10. So here we are with the start of the second set between Australia and Scotland. And Australia represented, just to remind you, by Jasmine Rayner and Cameron Zaya. Scotland, they have in their ranks Alexandra, Clegg McKeon, and Iona Bell. It is Bell to serve. Down the line and in. Yeah, after some brief struggles earlier, Zaya now starting to find her range with those spikes. She hasn't missed any of her last three. It's not going to go over the line. Well, the story of the first set. Well, the attack percentage of Australia really shoots up here. 74% of their attacks were successful compared to 32% from Scotland. Well, that's the first block of, the first put away of the second set. Australia had 2 out of 2 blocks in the first set. Now their block percentage has risen up to 67% with that latest one. Straight down the middle. Well, they haven't had much to cheer about here, Scotland, but certainly loud cheer after that one. Nice shot down the middle that the Australians found untouchable. That play has worked well for Scotland here today. They picked up a lot of points like that, testing the much taller Australians. Technical timeout for, well, the first changeover correction for the teams, and Australia leading 5-2 here against Scotland. Scotland trying to stay alive in the competition after conceding the first set 21-15. but a real tough task against one of the favorites for the gold medal here in Tobago. That's Jasmine Rayner and Cameron Zaya. Good get there by Clegg McKeon. And that's in. Good bit of play from her. Smallest player on the court here today. And flexing her muscles, showing what she's made of. Mel Coates, the Scotland international, cheering on her team. Oh, that's good. Just getting the help of the net cord, and the Australians again, a bit slow to get down to make the dig. That's out. Rayner was the one attempting to get that spike down into the corner, missed it by a couple of feet from Sandstorm Club in Queensland. That's out. Zaya from South Australia plays for the USC Lions, one of the most successful clubs in Australia. Looks to go down the line. Kept in well here by Scotland. Bell. Oh, that's a good get there by Australia. And Zaya again. Attack percentage for Australia starting to drop here, but still very healthy at 62%. But their blocking has been quite good here today, 67% already. Point for Scotland. Yeah, reaching over the net. That was the call. And I tell you what, Rena is so tall, she could just stand and reach over the net. If you're a volleyball player, that's what you want to look like with that height and that physicality that she has. That's wide. Just trying to get that one to touch the line, but unfortunately for Clegg McKeon, just drifting wide with a crosswind here at the beach facility in Blackrock, Tobago. And we are in historic Tobago. Certainly hope that you get a chance to come here. If you're into diving, there are 50 well-established diving sites here in Tobago that provide memorable opportunities for divers of all abilities, from snorkeling in the shadows to novice drift diving. No diving there. That was a wonderful spike there by Rayner. But if you're into diving, there are 10 dive sites you can't miss here in Tobago, including Blackjack Hole, Kelston Drain, Bookends, and the delightfully named Shark Bank. Much closer set so far. Scotland hanging tough here. Yeah, they're providing the pressure and they're reaping the rewards now. Well, the Scots will enjoy some support. There have been several players from Trinidad and Tobago to play soccer or football, if you like, in Scotland. Jason Scotland, who actually played in Scotland, is what comes to mind. Another excellent serve there by Zaya to earn another point for Australia. 11-8. Russell Latterpy, one of the most famous from Trinidad and Tobago to play in Scotland. He's played for Falkirk and for Rangers, I believe. That finds the line. So there will be some support from the Scots here in Tobago. Oh, that is a brilliant serve from wide off the mark, and that was finding the line. So that has given Australia a bit of a lead here going into an important phase of the game. Australia, if they dominate the next 7 points, they could find themselves very close to closing out a place in the semi-finals. Australia lead 21-15 after winning the first set, and now 13-8 in the second set. Second set action continues here between Australia and Scotland. Quarterfinals here in the Beach Volleyball Championship Commonwealth Youth Games. Australia, the favourites to go on to the semi-finals, but Scotland hanging tough here in the second set. 14-8 now. Australia starting to pull ahead here. Scotland did provide. They were actually looking pretty good at the start of this second set, but the Australians starting to find their range once again. And as you say that, a timely reminder there from Clegg McKeon that they're still around here. That's out. Rather loopy looking attempt from the spike there. Just didn't get the contact on it, and it went wide and long. That's hit the line, and Australia keep marching on here. They've opened up a 5 point lead on the Scots, and this is the phase of the game that you really need to assert their dominance and open up a lead to heading to that 21 points. That's out. Every point that Scotland get is wildly cheered by Mel Coots, the Scotland international who played at the 2018 and 2022 Commonwealth Games. Oh, that's in. That was hit off balance there by Zaya, but did well enough. Good contact to get that one in. Yeah, that's in. This tournament has provided a great entry point for players as the break here 16-12 in this one. 16-12, Australia lead. Great entry point for international sports. 2017, Scotland were represented by Emma Walden and Jenny Lee. They eventually went on to win the league and cup double with the City of Edinburgh right after, well, a few years after performing here. That's an easy put away for Australia, who are ahead by 5 points once again, 17-12. It's not looking good for the Scots here, but they have provided some stout opposition to the Australians. That's wonderful work. And it is once again Rayner gliding in to knock that one over. Australia 19-12 now. They're just 2 points away. Technical timeout called, and happy of the two coaches right now will be Brianna Mears, who is just having a little talk with her charges. And she certainly said that her team looked strong in preparation ahead of these games. And she was not misrepresenting anything there. I can tell you these two, Reina and Zaya, looking very ominous here as they look to be marching into the semifinals, just 2 points away from a place in the semifinals. Mozambique and New Zealand battling on the other court. Just to give you an idea how that's going, it's once again, after a very, very tight start, they were at 9-all at one point. New Zealand have now pulled ahead 16-10. So they've gone on a bit of a run there, New Zealand, and they're looking to close out that game. So Australia just 2 points away now. They lead by 7. Oh, that's brilliant work hitting that cross court, and that brings up the first match point here for Australia. 21-15 in the first set, and they lead 21-12 here. Brief interruption as the ball boy just ambling across. Australia looking to close it out here. And there it is. Australia close it out with the spike from Reina. And that is victory for Australia. They march into the semifinals. They've won the second set 21-12. So these two will take some beating here, Reina and Zaya. And they have only restricted Scotland to 27 points. Australia 21-15, 21-12, and they are the third of the semi-finalists to make it here. The final game, which is still going on between Mozambique and New Zealand. New Zealand are 4 points away from victory there. So New Zealand 4 points away from victory against Mozambique, winning the first set 21-10. And New Zealand's pairing of Kiana Stevenson and Tanique Hinton in position now to become the fourth team in the semifinals. As that was excellent end to that point. Looking a little bit jaded at the moment, the New Zealand team, but they're very, very close to the line. They're leading 18-11 now. And they're up against Veronica Roque and Nadia Bango of Mozambique. Is that wide? That is. 2 points away from victory here, New Zealand. So New Zealand looking to sew up a place in the semifinals of the competition. Semifinals happening tomorrow. New Zealand in defense now. Oh, that's down, and they can't defend it, and that has brought up match point for New Zealand. Well, if anything, New Zealand have been far more dominant here against their opponents from Mozambique. They've restricted them to just 21 points so far, and here is their first match point. Kept alive here by Mozambique. And there it is. Victory for New Zealand, and not a moment too soon. And New Zealand have won their match, the second set at least, by 21 points to 11. 11-21 to New Zealand in the second set. And they have also won the first 21-10. So New Zealand go marching on. So the semi-finalists have now been decided. It is Canada on one side and Kenya Scotland knocked out here by Australia. So Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and Kenya are also in the semi-finals. England knocked out by Kenya, and certainly the African team doing their continent proud by making it into the semi-finals here. So the last four decided in the women's competition. Coming up, it's the men's competition, and here are the men's competition coming up. And in the men's competition, it's Canada versus St. Lucia later on today. Cyprus will face South Africa. England have a date with Australia. That's almost like the Ashes with volleyballs around. And Rwanda facing New Zealand. Those are the four quarterfinal matches. But first up, Canada, St. Lucia, and Cyprus, South Africa will be on court.
I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be. So proud to be. I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy, all kind of taste. Where steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street to go about in mud. And when the iron beat, you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud, this my nation. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be.
Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be TNT. I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy, all kind of taste. Where steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street to go about in mud. And when the iron beat, you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud, this my nation. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT.
B-Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
I'm proud to be TNT. I'm proud to be.
It's only when I go abroad and I see what is out there and I come back and I measure against what is here. There is no comparison to beauty.
Some writings of our history, it is said that Christopher Columbus called it Bella Fauna, meaning beautifully formed.
Natural, beautiful, peaceful. Yes, I get emotional. That's why I'm here.
One of the fascinating things about nature, there is always something new, and especially in the tropics where there's such wide diversity, persons can experience and have the awe associated with some of the beaches we have, aquatic life we have, some of the fascinating birds we have within a day, within a short period of time.
You have the Caribbean Sea on one side, you have the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. On our doorstep, a fringe reef that wraps around the entire area. You have this huge amount of biodiversity and liveliness of the entire water that surrounds the island. also do bioluminescent nighttime tours, which are like an escape into the deep, dark secrets of this, glowing phenomenon. It's like this almost cosmic effect. It's just something to be seen.
I know everybody in the village, and everybody know me. That is the nice thing about here.
Tobago is used to the extended family. There was always a grandmother, aunt, uncle. There was always love.
We eat and we drink, we laugh, and everything together.
Tobago, in one word to me, beautiful. Beautiful place to live.
It gives me great pleasure to be in Tobago and do what I do.
The sunsets here are probably bar none some of the nicest I've seen.
I would describe Tobago of one of the clean, serene, and the best place that anyone could come. Be easy, be happy, and have a good time. There is nothing to compare to.
This little dot called Tobago exists, and come visit.
Welcome back to live coverage of Day 4 of the beach volleyball action here at the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023 at the Corland Beach Sports Arena in Black Rock, Tobago. It's the start of the men's quarterfinals, Canada versus St. Lucia. We also have Cyprus versus South Africa. The featured game for this round will be Canada versus St. Lucia, and we'll keep you up to date with what's going on in the Cyprus-South Africa game. Canada, represented by their two players just going into the court at the top. That's Oliver Toombs to the left of your picture. He is the blonde-haired figure of Oliver Toombs and the dark-haired figure of Andon Kyriakou. As for St. Lucia, they're in the near court from where you're looking at right now. The taller of the two men is Rio Victor, and the shorter is Tafari Charles. The St. Lucians, from one of the most beautiful islands in the West Indies, up against the Canadians here. Canada coached by Andrew Cos, the ever-smiling coach of Canada, and Terry Verdant, one of the top coaches in the region, and certainly in St. Lucia. He is the man pulling the strings there for his team. So those are the players involved in the games. The officials for today are Martin Swayze. He is from Belize, and Tanya Kowald from Australia. Canada looking to get a fast start here, but it doesn't happen. That one's guided beyond, off the net. Commonwealth Youth Games into the quarterfinal stage. Canada looking to sew up one of the 4 quarterfinal spots. Cyprus, South Africa, that'll be a tough one there. England versus Australia and Rwanda, New Zealand. Those are the 4 quarterfinal matches to be played this morning. Toombs, Kyriakou. Well, he hasn't quite gotten going so far. Second attempt to get one over the net lands up into the top of the net cord. Toombs wins the first point for Canada. St. Lucia ahead by 3-1 at the moment. Proud moment for St. Lucia yesterday, their first male individual medalist here at the Commonwealth Youth Games. Well, that's powerfully hit there by Toombs. Really rose high and put everything into that. Denzel Phillips, the man who won bronze in the men's discus throw yesterday. First man to win a bronze medal. That's out there, by the way. First man to win a bronze medal for St. Lucia at the Commonwealth Youth Games. 4th track and field medal and 5th overall for St. Lucia at the Commonwealth Youth Games. Now, Charles can't get across to that. That was really good work there again by Kyriakou. And at the changeover, it's the Canadians that have snuck ahead here 4-3 after St. Lucia had won the first 3 points. Yes, a really proud moment there for St. Lucia. And Denzel Phillips is basking in the glory right now. Bit of a hero back in St. Lucia at the moment. And thanks very much to Terry Finisterre, top sports broadcaster in St. Lucia, for the information. That's off the hands there of Charles. That ball's wobbling side to side. Really difficult to pick up the line of it and to get your forearms under it. Well, something's happening here. Andrew Cos is having to hand over something to the second referee. Well, they're just about ready now. Just a brief discussion, brief hold up to the game. And here we go again, Canada to serve. Oh, that's very, very good. Very good reading of the situation there by Toombs. Spotted Charles locked on the left side of the court from his view. Went right. Good work there by Charles. But even better by Kariakou, who spotted the open space and knocked it in. So the Canadians ahead 6-4 here now. Kariakou has been brilliant in some of the earlier rounds. He hasn't quite hit the high notes just yet. Well, might not be flying high, but he's very, very clever with those little pokes around the net. And that's the latest to earn a point for the Canadians. 7-4 they lead. Victor had an excellent game in the last match. 8 blocks at the net. That was against St. Kitts and Nevis. That one, unable to get that one over. So, point to the Canadians once again. Well, there by Charles. Victor keeps it alive. Charles, can he finish it off? Charles again, very athletic. Brilliant bit of play. Oh, that's the best rally of the match so far. Unfortunately, it ends with a point for the Canadians on the point of view of the St. Lucian team. But some great work defensively there by Taffery Charles. He was flying through the air several times during that rally to keep it alive, only for the Canadians to pick up the point through the work of Andan Kiriakou. 9-4 at the break. Back here with coverage of the Canada-St. Lucia game. Canada will try to pull ahead here even further from the St. Lucians, but the St. Lucians have to pick up points like that very quickly. They have to make the serves count here. And at the changeover, it is St. Lucia that go into it trailing 9-5. Chums and Kariakou, you feel, are not in their top gear at the moment. Still, they've done enough here to open up a 4-point lead. Yeah, not a bit of evidence that they are not quite up for this yet, the Canadians. They certainly had to be on their P's and Q's against England in their opening game. Came back to beat England from a desperately bad situation for them. Another big block there from Victor, unfortunately, wrong side of the line for the big man. So 4 places up for grabs into semi-finals. Canada, St. Lucia, Cyprus, South Africa battling for them at the moment. Oh, well done there by Toombs. It's an easy put away. Charles was just out of the picture. And that's put away well. Oh, that was brilliant work there by Kiriakou. The best of efforts there by Charles. Victor, correction. Rising very high, and Kiriakou just seemed to hang in the air. Just got it over his outstretched hands. Yeah, 2 touches there, one hand to the next. And that's a ball on the field. Brian Charles, one of the top officials in the country, very popular referee here in Trinidad and Tobago, running onto the field, the court, to make sure everything is at ready once again. That's out. Rising high over the net there, Kiriakou, but couldn't find the sideline on the left side of the court. That's in. And there was a touch by Toombs anyway. So that would have always counted there for the St. Lucians, who are hanging close enough to the Canadians, but the Canadians, you feel, still have an extra gear to put in here. 11-10, the Canadians lead. That was an excellent session there for the St. Lucia team, pulling to within a point here of Canada. Andrew Cos having a talk with his team of Toombs and Kiriakou. At the same time, Terry Verdant talking to Rio Victor and Taffery Charles on the closer side of your picture there, just on the left of the officials. And they are trying to get their teams going here in this first set. The majority of the teams that have won the first set in this competition have gone on to win the match. Only a couple of times we've seen it in the match so far that teams have lost the first set and have come back to win. So winning the first set has been very, very important in this competition here in the heat at Blackrock in Tobago. And St. Lucia's players will be certainly used to it. Their Canadian counterparts maybe a lot less so. That's a good serve there by Victor. Brings it back to level at 11. Into the net. Unfortunately, the jump serve not working for him that time. These two young men would have practiced a lot at the Bossejou indoor facility in St. Lucia. That's one of the areas where St. Lucia would have been, Verdant would have been working, and unfortunately, that one just poked over the net. Charles was looking for something coming in his direction. Terry Verdant is all smiles as he has a long-distance word there with Victor. The big man on the right of your picture. It's to Charles. Oh, try to go for the cut shot there. Just came off the wrist more than anything else. And into the net. So Canada starting to pull away now. 3 unanswered points in this session. Just out. Well, some good leaping ability showed there by Charles, Brian Charles, that is, one of the linesmen. And into the net, second in a row here for the St. Lucians. They can ill afford to just be handing points back to the Canadians. So far, just 8% success in services for the St. Lucians and 15% for the Canadians. Well, that's gone up to 20% now as that one hits the court and in. So 3 out of 15 serves have found the mark here for Canada. Just 1 out of 13 for the St. Lucians. And the St. Lucians, 14% attack rate, but for the Canadians, 39%. And you still feel they can do better here. We've seen them play better in some of the previous matches. They had the day off yesterday, Canada. But certainly they're not having an off day today. That one hits the line. No matches for either the Canadian men or women yesterday, so they spent some time doing a little bit of training and some sightseeing here in Tobago. Well, that's out. Small difference between rest and rust, as coaches like to say, with when you have that off day, but there was some training for them. And Victor just admonishes himself there for dumping that one into the net. And we'll go to the Canadians. Canadians, I'm sure, would have done some training at the indoor facility at Darrowview Park in Toronto. Well, into the open court. Easy put away there by Toombs. Andrew Cos is from Toronto. I'm sure he's done some work there. And the Canadians here have now gone and taken the first set 21-13. So first set to Canada against St. Lucia. St. Lucia getting into the quarterfinals after beating St. Kitts and Nevis yesterday. But they found the Canadians an entirely different proposition so far here. 21-13 at we turn over here. Now on the other side, the Cyprus Republic South Africa game starting a little bit later. And that one is at 13-10 at the moment, with the Cyprus team holding a slight advantage. And I'm sure that the supporters of Cyprus will be very happy to hear that at the moment. At the break, Canada winning the first set against St. Lucia 21-13. They are on their way, it seems, to a place in the semifinals. Just about to restart, and Canada will have serve as we start the second set. They took the first 21-13 and already off to a 1-0 lead. Just to remind you, the officials for today are from Belize and Australia. First referee is Martin Swayze of Belize and Tonya Kawal, the second referee out of Australia. Another excellent serve here by Toombs. He's produced two real crackers at the start. Neither were handled well by St. Lucia. We're looking slightly deflated now as after conceding that first set. That's good stuff there from Charles. Taffery Charles swooping in to find the first point for St. Lucia in the second set. That's out. This game taking place in very hot conditions here in Blackrock, Tobago. Certainly one of the hottest days we've had. In fact, I was being told yesterday was the hottest day we've had for the year so far in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, we didn't need the meteorologist to tell us that. Today, if anything, mercury might be going that bit higher. And the Canadians at the moment, they are prospering in the heat. And in fact, they've turned on the heat now on the St. Lucians. 3-3 in the second set here between Canada and St. Lucia. Easy put away there for Toombs. Big space in between the two St. Lucian players, and he just had to glide it in. And the Canadians are once again ahead here, 4-3 in the second. Just looking back at that first set, it was Canada that really pulled away. They were 11-all at one point. And the statistics from the second set would show Canada a 40% success rate in attack, 25% success rate in success. By contrast, for St. Lucia, 12% attack rate and 8% in services. That was the difference between the teams. That's in. Good adjustment. Very good reflexes there by Victor. Turned his body around. Great control. Kinesiologists would have easily appreciated that bit of work there from Rio Victor. Wow, that was something. It has burst a hole into the advertising just behind. Wow. Don't know if you can see it there. It's just behind Charles, but it's punctured a hole in the advertising board. That's how powerful that was. Nobody's done that yet today. That was Andon Kiriakou. And another one, another bomb here from Kiriakou. Wow. Awesome stuff. He's now getting into top gear. 6-5 Canada lead. That's too much of that there from Charles. Well, all Caribbean hopes are resting on the shoulders of St. Lucia. They're the only Caribbean team remaining in the men's competition. And, of course, the women's competition, none of the Caribbean teams are making it into the quarterfinals. We would, however, claim Bermuda as our brothers in the Caribbean, even though they're geographically not. But, however, Bermuda knocked out by Canada earlier today. England surprised by Kenya in straight sets. Scotland overwhelmed by Australia in 2 sets. And Mozambique falling to New Zealand earlier today by 2-0. So far, Canada have led this one 21-13, and they're also leading 8-5 in the second set. And in the other game, Cyprus pulled away to take the first set 21-12. So continuation of action here in the second set between St. Lucia and Canada. Canada to serve 8-5. St. Lucia actually leading in the early stages of this set. Canada starting to pull things back here. Toombs and Kiriakou starting to find their range once again. And that's the kind of errors that St. Lucia can ill afford at this point. Terry Verdant is a very, very cool customer, clad in his blue and yellow. You can see him walking along the sidelines on the left of your picture. Always has a big smile on his face and easy with his players. Similar in many ways to Andrew Cos, the coach of the Canada team. You never know who's losing or winning looking at his face. Well, Charles has seen every inch of the sand here at the Corlin Beach Sports Arena in Black Rock, Tobago. He's really put his body on the line here for his team. Canada lead 10-5 in the second set. Oh, Victor rising high, but he's found that Kiriakou is a formidable opponent. Well, Kiriakou could have done a bit more with that. However, the attempted shot there by Charles goes wide. So Canada's lead has jumped up to 7 all of a sudden. They're the ones who are starting to pull away now. St. Lucian's looking a little bit disconsolate. Point to Canada. Good block there at the net by Kiriakou. And Canada are 2 for 2 for blocks in this game so far. St. Lucia, none for 3. And Charles disappointed with his effort there. Another error for the St. Lucia team. St. Lucia 13 errors, Canada 13. That's even Steven there. It's the success rate of conversion of attacks. That's been the problem for the St. Lucians. Wow, Kiriakou suddenly looking like he could leap all the way over the net. That was awesome stuff. 15-5 here to the Canadians. Yeah, got in the right place there, Victor. And always predictable that was going to go into the net there. Just couldn't find his way under that one to spike it through the gap between the two Canadian players. 16-5 at the break. And technical timeout. The Canadians wearing what seems like a shawl of ice at the moment. Well, it's easier for the St. Lucians. They're used to this kind of heat. Certainly, the heat has affected many of the teams here. I'm wondering if England were victim to that. They certainly didn't look themselves against Kenya. Take nothing away from the performance by Kenya, the only African team to make it into the women's semi-final. But they certainly did very well to topple England. Certainly, England would have come in as one of the big medal hopes in the women's side. Here in the men's side, Canada and St. Lucia. Canada with an 11-point lead in the second set. And on the other side, with Cyprus have now opened up a 5-point lead on South Africa. They're looking good for a place in the semifinals at the moment. And in case you're wondering why the game has not restarted, what's happened here is that there's a medical timeout, and Rio Victor, the St. Lucian player, was seen to by the medical officials on his chair. He was actually sitting next to his coach and his teammate, Taffery Charles. However, after the medical staff examined him, they took him across to the medical tent. And from here, where I'm sitting, we can see that he is sitting up well. So don't worry about it, St. Lucia. He is sitting up. He's alert. He's conscious. He's talking to the officials. I think they just needed to do some other work with him across in the medical tent. But he does seem to be fine at the moment. So no worries, St. Lucia. I'm sure that he'll be back out in a minute or so to resume this game against Canada. Just to remind you of the score, Canada 21-13 in the first set, and they lead the second by 6-5. So we're just going to switch across to the other game on right now. That's Cyprus versus South Africa. And Cyprus versus South Africa. Cyprus winning the first set 21-12. In the second set now, Cyprus leading by 17-11. And Cyprus looking to confirm their place in the semifinals. They would be the first of the nations, men's countries involved in this competition to qualify for the semifinals. South Africa with the serve. And that's pounded off the net and into the court. So that's point number 18 here for the Cyprus team. We're looking to close out victory here within a short period. In the meantime, good news. Rio Victor has returned to the court. It looks like he's going to be ready to continue. Another point for Cyprus. They are 2 away from victory now. And Cypriots looking good here. Both of these players from the Greek side of Cyprus, I'm told, and their names, Alexis Savidis and Aninos Chrysostomou, would certainly tell you that is so. South Africa represented by Jaden Cristiano Cupido and Deloshan Alatum. Oh, that was put away with some venom there. And there's match point for the Cyprus team. Cyprus looking to close out victory here. That's pounded into the net, so a reprieve there for South Africa. The Cyprus team have attracted a lot of attention, not only for their spanking uniforms, but also for the style, their attacking style of play. And there it is. That is victory for Cyprus. Cyprus into the semifinals. They have beaten South Africa in straight sets here, 21-12, 21-12, allowing the South Africans only 24 points. And Cyprus are the first team to clinch a place in the semifinals. Canada looking to do the same. So we'll now head back across to the other game on, which is between Canada and the boys from St. Lucia. And it is St. Lucia that are ahead here, behind 5-17. Canada have pulled away in a big way in the second set. That's out. And with the medical timeout taken here, the treatment, which took place over 5 minutes to Rio Victor, we're wondering what state he is in right now. Right now, he's soldiering on for his team and his country. But I don't think he's quite looking as energetic as he did before. And that serve would certainly show that all is not well with the big man, Rio Victor. Didn't quite track that one well. And Canada bring up match point, their first match point here. 26, they lead in the second set. And it is Kyriakou to serve. Kyriakou with the dig. And 2 touches there signaled by the officials. So a reprieve there for the St. Lucia team. And Charles, who plays with the blue-framed glasses on. Well, he's come up with them in the second period here. Kiriakou setting up Toombs. Goes down the line. That's out. Now, the medical staff have had to be called on several times. And the medical staff are now back on again. And they're heading towards the St. Lucia bench at the moment. Let's see what's happening here. One point again for the Canadians to get victory. St. Lucia with the serve. And Toombs gets that down the line. And there it is. Victory for Canada. Canada win this match 21-8. The set 21-8. And they've also won the match by 2-0. Canada confirmed victory 21-13, 21-8. And here's the story of the match itself. Here's how it happened in the second set. Dominant performance from Canada, converting more than half of their attacks. Charles and Victor, unfortunately, just 16% of their attacks converted, and all the stats are trending towards Canada there in that match. There are 2 representatives, Oliver Toombs and Andan Kiriakou, going into the semifinals, and there's confirmation of the result. 21-12, 21-8, dominant performance, the best of the day so far from the Canadian men. They are the second team to confirm their places in the men's semi-finals. Cyprus getting there just a couple of minutes before they shut out South Africa 21-12, 21-12. Coming up at 12 o'clock, it's a shootout at high noon here in Blackrock, Tobago. England versus Australia. That's almost like the Ashes we had a couple of weeks ago. And Rwanda will face New Zealand in the other match. So 2 more quarterfinals to go. We'll join you at just about 12 o'clock for continued coverage here of the Beach Volleyball Championships, Commonwealth Youth Games 2023.
I'm proud to be TNT. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be TNT. I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy, all kind of taste. Where steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street to go about in mother. When the iron beat you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud this my nation. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be.
Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
I'm proud to be. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be. So proud to be. I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy, all kind of taste. Where steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street to go about in mother. When the iron beat you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud this my name.
T-Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
It's only when I go abroad and I see what is out there and I come back and I measure against what is here. There is no comparison to beauty.
Some writings of our history, it is said that Christopher Columbus called it Bella Fauna, meaning beautifully formed.
Natural, beautiful, peaceful. Yes, I get emotional. That's why I'm here.
One of the fascinating things about nature, there is always something new, and especially in the tropics where there's such wide diversity, persons can experience and have the awe associated with some of the beaches we have, aquatic life we have, some of the fascinating birds we have within a day, within a short period of time.
You have the Caribbean Sea on one side, you have the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. On our doorstep, a fringe reef that wraps around the entire area. You have this huge amount of biodiversity and liveliness of the entire water that surrounds the island. We also do bioluminescent nighttime tours, which are like an escape into the deep, dark secrets of this, glowing phenomenon. It's like this almost cosmic effect. It's just something to be seen.
I know everybody in the village, and everybody know me. That is the nice thing about here.
Tobago is used to the extended family. There was always a grandmother, aunt, uncle. There was always love.
We eat and we drink, we laugh, and everything together.
Tobago, in one word to me, beautiful. Beautiful place to live.
It gives me great pleasure to be in Tobago and do what I do.
The sunsets here are probably bar none some of the nicest I've seen.
I would describe Tobago of one of the clean, serene, and the best place that anyone could come. Be easy, be happy, and have a good time. There is nothing to compare to.
This little dot called Tobago exists, and come visit.
Welcome back to live coverage of the day 4 of the beach volleyball competition here at the Commonwealth Youth Games 2023. I'm Vidya Rampal at the Colin Beach Sports Arena in Blackrock, Tobago, and we are entering the last two of the quarterfinals for men. England versus Australia, that's the featured game today, and Rwanda versus New Zealand on the other court. That's court number 2. We'll dip into that game a little bit to give you an idea of what's going on with that particular match. England versus Australia is always going to be an interesting contest, and the 4 teams remaining on this side of the draw will attempt to join Canada and Cyprus, who've already qualified for the semi-finals. Canada taking care of business against St. Lucia 21-13, 21-8. Cyprus getting past South Africa 21-12, 21-12. Earlier today, also, the women's semi-finalists have now been decided. They are Canada, Kenya, Australia, and New Zealand. So packed, and there will be some more matches later on this afternoon. But this is the last match on court 1 of the morning session. It's Australia to serve as we start off here. First point to England, though. And Australia represented by Mitchell Croft. He is the number 1. And with 2 on his back is Jet Rocker Graham. England with Morgan to serve. That's Rob Morgan and Peter Sachevka. And the Croft, or Crofty as they call him, going down the line and getting that one. So 1-1 here for the Australians. The Australians are the much larger of the two. Very, very tall men. The 2 Australians. Gotten that. Kept that in play. Back with Sachevka. Oh, that's a good get there from the Australians. Has to do it again. Can't. A roar from the Australians as they take a 2-1 lead. Jet Rocker Graham is from Victoria, plays for the Australian Volleyball Academy. He is closer to the net at the moment. That's out. Last touch off Rocker Graham. His partner, Mitchell Croft, is from New South Wales, plays for the Northern Beach Volleyball Club. That's out. Australia have gone to the top of the table in terms of medals won here at the Commonwealth Youth Games. 25 medals for Australia already, inclusive of 9 gold, 7 silver, and 9 bronze medals. That's very good there from Sachevka. Australia looking to add another medal from beach volleyball. That will not be decided until 2 days from now. But whether they progress, well, that'll be learned today here as they come up against a powerful England team. A couple of errors here from the start for Australia. And at the changeover, it's England that lead by 4-3. England to serve here as we start off, leading 4-3. Australians not yet to get going here, and that's something that will help them get going. Crofty, Mitchell Croft, the New South Wales man, slamming that one down the line. England are second in the table behind Australia in medals won. 16 medals, 6 gold, 8 silver, and 2 bronze medals. Another clever bit of play there by Sachevka to pick up another point for England. Sachevka has been part of the England performance pathway for 5 years. He's the only under 18 that campaigns in the FIVB World Tour. Well, Sachevka read that well, got a hand to it, but couldn't guide it on the right side of the line. That's in. Again, Sachevka coming to the fore. So many of these English players have gone on to find success here at the Commonwealth Youth Games and gone on to much bigger things. Well, that's gone over. Australians very vocal in their support of each other. And often you see this in other sports. They are the premier trash talkers, as the Americans like to say in sports. Big part, vocalization, a big part of getting themselves going. Oh, that's great there. Flying in there, Rocker Graham. And the Victorian there finding the line at the back of the Englishman. Now, that's gone to England this time. That one's out. 7-all. And a tied game so far in this one. I tell you what, this one could go 3 sets here. These teams are very, very closely matched. Shades of the England Canada game, which Canada just pinched in 3 sets. England, the defending champions in the beach volleyball here at the Commonwealth Youth Games. Javier and Joaquin Bello winning it the last time round. They certainly have gone on to much bigger things. These two, Sachevka and Morgan, trying to do the same. Now that's out. Ball back to the Australians. Croft and Rocker Graham easily most exuberant of the pairs we've seen so far of the day. Stayed in. Well played there by England to keep that one going. Morgan. Wow, that's excellent from the smallest man on the court. He's not a small man by any means, easily 6 feet tall, but compared to the two giants on the other side and to Sachevka, does look fairly slight in his build. Easy there for Sachevka. Australians losing control of that one, just hanging it up. And Peter, as he likes to be called, guides that one into the court. Men's quarterfinal action going on here at Blackrock in Tobago. 9-all, level pegging in this one. This is like watching the Ashes with volleyballs. Closely competed Ashes series between England and Australia recently. That's in cricket, ending up 2-all. This one is just as hotly contested between the two countries. That's in. Sachevka opting to let that one go, but unfortunately for him, that gets the line. 11-9 now the Australians pull ahead. He's so very clever at the net, Sachevka, and again finding the point for England. So 10-9 the lead now at the other game going on. That one features Rwanda against New Zealand. And already the New Zealand team are off to a fine start. 15-2 they lead at the moment. Rwanda, the last of the African nations remaining. South Africa already knocked out of the men's competition. So African hopes here in this beach volleyball competition resting on the shoulders of Tristan Kairanga and Francois Mugisha of Rwanda. Right now, they're finding it very difficult to make a a note against these New Zealand players. England, Australia in action here. Always a very feisty contest, no matter what sport it is between England and Australia, because of the relationship between the countries. Rocker Graham just having a brief word with the official for today. And this one being officiated by Kenneth Waugh and Christina Risak. Oh, good work there. Oh, he couldn't get it. Croft trying to track that one down, but Rocker Graham didn't get enough on it to keep that one alive. So England closed to within a point of the Australians. England in the red and black, as you can see, closer to you. Brilliant work there by Morgan. Oh, that's good work. Well disguised there by Morgan, looking as though he was going cross court. And suddenly Croft was left flat footed as that one just ducked over the net and into the court. Oh my. Well, you could have seen that one coming. Croft coming down. And the Australia coach yells, "Go, boys." Australian women also here to watch the boys in action. That's out. So all of the teams are right around the court, and the Australians are here watching their team on. The Canadian coach, Andrew Cos, always is also here, having a close look at the tactics by both teams. His team will have to face one of these, perhaps in the semis or the finals. The way things go. Wow, that was awesome. The sound that made would have had many fearing for the health there of Rob Morgan, but he's a tough lad, and he took that one well. But what a slab that was down there by Croft. Spiked that one down with some authority. Christina Risak just having a quick word with Kenneth Waugh, and referee for today. I'm sure the two Australians would recognize the last name. I don't think the Waugh brothers, Steve and Mark, are that old that they can't remember them on the field of play for Australia in cricket. Yeah, they're the first twins to ever play Test cricket. And the last time round in Bahamas, a set of twins won the gold medal for England. So after a brief discussion, well, the English players are ready now to go. It's 14 all. Morgan to get things going here. Actually, it's with Australia. Morgan thought he had the serve. It's in the hands of Rocker Graham. Yeah, trying to put some topspin in that one, but just starting to dip too early. Didn't get it high enough at the start. That's in. Just allow that one to go through there, Croft. Misjudgment there from the tall Australian out of New South Wales. Well, into the net this time. He was going for something dipping in front of Croft. Didn't work out for him. So 3 service faults so far for Australia, 2 for England. That's out. 40% of successful attacks for Australia, 36% for England. That's the stat. That's how close it's been between these two teams. Last touch there by England. Point to Australia. Well, they're calling the technical timeout at the moment, and they're going to talk things over. Right now, it is Australia that have a 1-point lead, but they've been level pegging all the way through. Neither team has been able to open up more than a 2-point lead so far in this contest. It's been that close. Next 7 points could decide which team takes the first set. Right now, Australia slightly ahead, 17-16. That's an excellent start there by England. Sachevka bringing England back level. Several members of the England technical staff here for this one. Also, members of the England's women's team. They were knocked out of the tournament earlier today. They're here to support the England men. Morgan doing well to keep that one in play. Can he finish it off? No, he can't. Croft is there. The overpowering presence of Croft is there to slam home that one and give Australia the advantage 18-17. And again, the two teams level pegging all the way through. Neither team able to find enough distance between the other. They can't distance themselves at all in this contest. Well, whichever team wins the first set, it's going to be a real battle here. Great disguise again from Chachevka, going right off the target and getting it right. 18 all. And a feature of this game so far, there haven't been any free points for either team. You've had to battle for everything you've gotten in this game. Morgan does well. Sachevka keeps that alive. Morgan gets that in. And Croft does just enough. Sachevka again. And England take the lead here. 19-18. 19-18. And England 2 points away from the first set here. Australia on the rack at the moment. Well, good news for the home team, Trinidad and Tobago. 4 medals picked up by Trinidad and Tobago yesterday. And that is a record for TNT in the Commonwealth with Youth Games. Coming into this championship, TNT had only won 6 medals. Well, after yesterday, Trinidad and Tobago with 5 medals, 4 picked up yesterday and 1 the previous day. 2 golds, 2 silvers, and 1 bronze medal. 5 for TNT, Trinidad and Tobago in 7th place. As I mentioned earlier, Australia at the top with 25 medals, 9 gold medals. England second, 6 gold medals, and 16 in total. Scotland, they're in 3rd, South Africa 4th, Northern Ireland in 5th, and Wales in 6th place. Wow, what a play there by England. First, there was the flying attempt by Morgan to keep that alive, and then Sachevka guides it blind into the court. England ahead by 2, and this is set point. Croft and Rocker Graham have to come big here, and that's why. Oh, that was hit with some authority. They still need one more point here, Australia, to wipe off this set point. Second set point for England. Excellent serve there by Croft. Sachevka. Rocker Graham has his shot. Oh, it's into the net. And England win the first set 21-19. The cries of "Come on, England" go on all around the stadium as England take the first set 21-19. And it was, well, that Rocker Graham unable to get that one over the net. And here's how it went in the first set. 8 out of 22 successful attacks for the Australian team. For the England team, 10 out of 25. And that proved to be the difference, winning it by 2 points. And here's a confirmation of the score. And England, this is a stat that will certainly excite English fans watching this one. 21-19. That's the score at the end of the first set. England take first blood in this contest against Australia. Men's quarterfinal action here at the Commonwealth Youth Games. So here we go for the start of the second set. England pipping the first. And really, you have to say in that last phase of the game, England getting 3 points to Australia's 1 and going on to win that set 21-19. England to get us started in the second set. Here's Rob Morgan with the serve. That's a good start for Australia. Croft showing some authority. They haven't gotten enough of that in this first set. The offense certainly hasn't been quite as good for Australia in this game as it has been in others. Gets that. Oh, Morgan does well. Chechepka and Morgan gets it over. Morgan again with the dig. Oh, Morgan. Well, the Englishmen combining brilliantly to win that point. Boy, have we seen some points in this match. The rallies have been awesome all the way through. This easily is already one of the best games of the competition. And still a long way to go here. Australia need to win this set to take it to a decider. That's in. Well, feature of the game has been Australia's no team has been able to get any sort of distance on each other. The 2-point lead that England got to win the set was about the furthest any team has gotten. Great disguise again from Sachevka. He gets up there high and then he just seems to hang in the air, and very, very clever. He's able to read the defense by the Australians and go either way. He hasn't failed to put away one of those in the match so far. Rocker Graham just having a talk to the official, Mr. War, out of Jamaica. That's out. Well, it's not going to be an easy finish here for the Englishmen, because if you know anything about Australia in sports, they're going to fight tooth and nail for this one. Well, they've asked the referee to come and have a look at that particular call. And the referee, it's being pointed out. Lions official is pointing out to referee War exactly where it landed. Let's see what the decision will be. And it looks like it has gone to the Australians. They're looking the happier of the two. It is a point to Australia. It was out. All of the Lions people have been ex-national players, so it's a high quality of officiating here at the tournament. Oh, just getting a touch onto that there, Croft. And out of play. Well, the point has gone to England here. And the catch lift foul there called by the official, Mr. War. 4-all in the second set. And once again, just like the first set, neither team able to shake off the other. Here's what's happening in the other game on, the other quarterfinal, Rwanda versus New Zealand. New Zealand leading 21-6 after winning the first set, but a much closer second set. New Zealand had 11-10 there. Great block by Sachevka. And that's put England in front 4-3 now. Well, that's 2 out of 5 blocks have been successful for England now. Australia just 1 out of 5 so far. That's out. It's so close here in this one. And England now, this is the biggest lead that any team has had in this match. England lead by 3 points here, 6-3. The Australians, who were very vocal early in the match, now are a bit quieter. They'll need to get on a run of some points here and get their voices and their mojo back. Back here with action in the second set, England versus Australia. 6-3, the Englishmen lead. And in the changeover, their coach had out the ice-cold towels, ice-cold drinks for them. They look refreshed. Smile on the face of Sachevka as he was coming out of the dugout. Morgan does well to keep this alive. Recovers quickly. Again, Morgan with a great bit of defense. Oh, and another brilliant block there by Sachevka. Knocks that one into the empty court. Well, here's a block percentage, and England's block percentage continues to rise here, up to 50% now. They've had 3 out of 6 blocks. Their attack rate, success rate is 38% to 33 from Australia at the moment. That's going to rise, though, as Australia is starting to pull things back. 7-4 England lead. Biggest lead of the match. That's out. And all of a sudden, the England supporters have come out of nowhere. They are here cheering on their team. Australians here in their numbers to cheer on their team. And unfortunately, that is out. Rugby competition coming to a close tomorrow. And Australia very much involved in that competition. That's in. Sachevka again hanging in the air and making the late adjustment into the open court. And England 8-5 ahead now. Finally, some daylight between the teams. Can Rocker Graham and Croft find a way back here in the second set? Nine-five now, England lead. Rugby sevens. Women's gold medal match. Australia will play Canada for that one. And in the men's final, Fiji will take on Scotland in that game. Fiji will certainly be hoping to hold on to their title there. And Australia women looking to run away with the title. And they are coming up against Canada. So that's the rugby sevens coming up. Right now, we're in the quarterfinals here. England, Australia, Rwanda, New Zealand in battle. Shefka did well to keep that alive. Off the hands of Sachevka and point to Australia. Crossing the other game. New Zealand 21-6 in the first set. It's 16-14 in the second. That one's very close indeed. In the second set, at least. Oh, what a serve that was from Croft. Morgan's handling was brilliant and quite astute again. Off the hands of Sachevka. And Australia on a run here. They trail now by only 1 point. Sachevka is having a talk with the umpire here, Mr. War. Let's see what he's having a talk over. Mr. War with a big smile on his face. That's out. So 10-8 now. Australia had started to draw the England players back in. However, now England still ahead by 2. Looked like an error there by Croft. England keep it alive. Oh, that's brilliant. Sachevka hitting that one over his shoulder blind. Boy, his reading of the court, his reading of the game is so brilliant. Seemed to have injured his right finger there. Just seems to be toying with that index finger, trying to pull it back in place, it seems. Morgan does well. He goes down the line, and Morgan earns another point for England as they're looking good here for a place in the semi-finals. The Australians have a lot of work to do. In the meantime, it's match point New Zealand, Rwanda. Well, one match point spurned there by New Zealand. Here it's Australia versus England. Rob Morgan does well again. Oh, Morgan's court presence, his defensive work is so beautiful at the back here. He has kept alive. He has kept England in some points here. It may have seemed that they were going to lose for sure. 5-point lead here for England, the biggest in the match so far. So as the teams take a break here, here's what's happening in the other match on Rwanda versus New Zealand. New Zealand have now completed victory there. They're into the semi-finals, and they have beaten Rwanda 21-6, 21-16. So congratulations to New Zealand. They are into the semi-finals of the men's competition. New Zealand are also in the women's competition in the semi-finals. So New Zealand, both teams there. England's women knocked out earlier today. Their men in the driver's seat now, 5 points ahead in the second set and a set to the good. That's in. Australians stay alive here. Well, that's come off the net, and that's in. So point to Australia, a couple of points to Australia to start to pull things back here. 13-10, England still ahead. You can never write out either team, can you? You do so at your peril. Well, the Australians still continuing to earn some points here. The gap starting to close. Now it's only 2. It was 5 at one point. 3 unanswered points here from Australia. Great commitment shown by the Aussies. Oh, Shachepka couldn't make the block. And Australia are a point away now. That's 4 unanswered points rattled off there by the Australians. 16 errors benefiting the Australians, 13 for England. Brilliant bit of work in the backcourt by Australia. And 5 straight points here for Australia. And it's now tied at 13. The cry of Aussie, Aussie, Aussie ring round the stadium here in Blackrock as the Australians rattle off 5 straight points, and they are now level in the second set. What a rally by Australia. 5 straight points, wiping out the England lead of 5 points. It's now level at 13 apiece. And that technical timeout coming at a great time here for England, just trying to stem the damage here wreaked by the Australian players. Rocker Graham and Croft. It's going to be Rocker Graham to serve. Sand in his eyes at the moment, but he's ready to start here now. England have been rocked here in the last bit of play. Second referee, Resac, just ensuring that all's well. They're ready to go. Referee War is happy, and here we go again. Oh, off the hands there of Croft, and Morgan wins the next point, breaking the sequence of 5 unanswered points. Morgan keeps that alive. Morgan! Oh, that was great play there by Morgan. Stuck out a big right hand. Excellent rally again here between the teams. And that's off the hands of Sachevka. And Australia draw level again at 14. Boy, what a game this is. England opening up a 5-point lead, Australia getting rid of it. And now we're back to familiar territory. They're level pegging once again here. 14-all in the second set. So referee Ward just having a talk with both captains, Sachevka and with Rocker Graham. All seems to be okay now as the Australians get us started here. 14-all. Important phase of the game. Excellent get there by Rocker Graham. And Sachevka's there. Croft at fault there. Just pushing that one too close to the net. And Sachevka was there to stuff it home. Excellent work again by Morgan. Sachevka has such a creative imagination on the court. And what's happened here? Oh, there's a touch on the net. It's gone against the Australians, and England ahead by 2 now. New Zealand winning their match against Rwanda, 21-6, 21-16. They're heading off the court at the moment. That's to Australia. Sachevka felt that there was a touch on the net, but there was clearly a touch by the Australian onto the body of Sachevka. So Australia now just one behind. They need to win the second set. Another beautiful play by Sachevka. He just seems to glide through the air and just gently lifting that over the body, the considerable frame of Rocker Graham to get the point. Doesn't follow it up with a great serve, though. Third service fault there by the Australians. There have been 6 for England so far. Australia behind by 1 here. The English team telling their players that they've got this. Another bit of clever play from Morgan. His defensive work has been brilliant all the way through this match. And then in offense, he's shown his class here. He's been easily one of the best players in the competition. Rocker Graham, reminding the Englishman he's still around. It's a 1-point game all of a sudden again. Just out of your picture on the left, the New Zealand team doing their press at the moment. They have the New Zealand flag draped around their necks, and they are celebrating their place in the semi-finals. So we have 3 semi-finalists decided. Canada there, Cyprus are there, New Zealand also in, and who will it be here, England or Australia? Right now, England have the lead. Yeah, that's down and into the net. 2 points away now, England, from a straight set victory over the old enemy. Happy of the 2 coaches right now is the English coach. Big broad smile on his face, as wide as the River Thames. And that smile is getting wider because England are a point away from victory. Morgan coming in to slam that one home. Sachevka with a serve. Australia have some work to do. 3 points away from safety here. Great take there by Morgan. That's wide. That's one of the match points saved. Match point for England. One saved. Australia have to save 2 more here. They do have the serve this time. And you would feel that it's going to be a floating serve here with the wind to the back of the Australian player, Rocker Graham. Sachevka has to keep this in play, Australia. And there it is! Celebration for England. They're into the semi-finals. They've knocked out Australia in first in straight sets, 21-19, 21-18, and England reigns supreme here once again. They're into the semi-finals, and their hopes of making it 2 gold medals in a row are alive. England beating Australia 21-19, 21-18. And here's the story of this second set. 10 of 30 attacks successful for England, only 6 of 31 for Australia, and that's where the Australians have mainly lost out in this second set. So celebration for England. They're into the semi-finals. They have joined New Zealand, Cyprus, and Canada in the men's semi-finals. Don't forget also Canada, Kenya, Australia, and New Zealand in the semi-finals on the women's side. Those games will be played tomorrow in the semi-finals. Coming up later on today, we do have some more matches to take you to, and those matches will involve the placement matches on later on today. And we will have those coming up for you at 4 p.m. So don't forget to join us then for coverage. We certainly hope you have enjoyed the morning session. The afternoon session is coming quickly in just about 3 hours' time. So stay tuned for that. On behalf of the hardworking crew here, our United Nations crew, you have to say here just around me, I'm Vidya Ramphal. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to join us at 4 p.m. for more action.
country. I'm proud to be so proud to be I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy all kind of taste. We steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street and go about in mud. And when the iron beat, you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud, this my nation. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be.
Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
I'm proud to be TNT. I'm proud to be TNT. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT. So proud to be TNT. I love this place. It's my country. Where we throwing javelin and pelting waste. There's room for every creed and race. Greetings with a big warm embrace, like medium heavy, all kind of taste. Where steel pan hums and it as a drum. We love the night and embrace the sun. We dance in the street and go about in mud. And when the iron beat, you go feel the love. We have fruits for all kind of season, limes for all kind of reason. This place is full of a plenty passion. So proud, this my nation. I'm proud to be TNT. I love this place. This is my country. I'm proud to be TNT.
B-Mobile celebrates all the things that make us proud. We are proud to be TNT.
It's only when I go abroad and I see what is out there and I come back and I measure against what is here. There is no comparison to beauty.
In some writings of our history, it is said that Christopher Columbus called it Bella Fauna, meaning beautifully formed.
Natural, beautiful, peaceful. Yes, I get emotional. That's why I'm here.
One of the fascinating things about nature, there is always something new, and especially in the tropics where there's such wide diversity, persons can experience and have the awe associated with some of the beaches we have, aquatic life we have, some of the fascinating birds we have within a day, within a short period of time.
You have the Caribbean Sea on one side, you have the Atlantic Ocean on the other side. On our doorstep, a fringe reef that wraps around the entire area. You have this huge amount of biodiversity and liveliness of the entire water that surrounds the island. We also do bioluminescent nighttime tours, which are like an escape into the deep, dark secrets of this, glowing phenomenon. It's like this almost cosmic effect. It's just something to be seen.
I know everybody in the village, and everybody know me. That is the nice thing about here.
Tobago is used to the extended family. There was always a grandmother, aunt, uncle. There was always love.